Happy Thursday! The frost is covered the window again. Yeah. There is some irony to the heat of the moment playing on the radio right now, especially when it's totally anything but hot outside. Oof, yet another song about fire. And it's anything but fire today. It's like below freezing this morning with wind chill in Central Florida. So driving into the office this morning because I gotta get some things done in the office. I'll show you guys what it's like, typical morning living in Central Florida. At least for me. So I'm actually going to the Evil Empire McDonald's, gonna get some oatmeal and coffee on the way into work. Really? You've got to be kidding me, Music Universe. So for a large chunk of folks that live in Central Florida, it's not all theme parks and fun times. You don't even see a theme park or any fun time during the week. I think we're lucky sometimes that we're able to escape and get to the parks after work, especially on weekends. But for the most part, it's driving down like regular blocks like you can see in the background, and probably similar commutes to what other folks are having in mid-range cities. I'd say Orlando is still a small market, so you know, as far as traffic's bad. It's just not like New York City bad or Atlanta bad, but it's enough that people complain because we don't have the infrastructure for all the people that move to Florida, because there is an awful lot. So you see a lot of comments down below, usually where people say like, I can't wait to move there, and everyone moves. Housing market is huge here, but not a lot of infrastructure to support that. So schools a little bit overcrowded, highways and things like that certainly really overcrowded. And if you can hear this in the background, this is Monsters in the Morning. It's a popular radio show that takes place in Orlando, mornings, talk radio station, 104.1, and listen to the Monsters. Probably more so on like Thursdays and Fridays, because I listen to Howard Stern if I can on Monday through Wednesday in the morning. About at 7 o'clock every morning they do a trivia question where you can win prizes. Most usually they're events that are happening around town, so like now they're giving away Daytona tickets and stuff like that. Good bunch of guys. We've met them all multiple times. Most notably Carlos, super great guy, originally from Queens, New York as well. And there's some folks that spun off from this, and most notably Tom and Dan, who have their own thing happening on the web, the Tom and Dan Mediocre Time show. So you guys should check that out if you're interested. I know other folks like Adam LaWoo have been on A Mediocre Time when he's in town, and they're always out promoting Orlando City and stuff like that too. And we saw those guys hosting the couch races in Sanford when we went there recently. And somewhere behind those trees, that's the sunrise. Not too shabby. There it is a little bit more. Here it is. Good morning, Orlando. So this is like normal traffic in the morning until you get to the point where things get to be a little congested. Not too bad. And so when you get to like Longwood, Altamont, this is where the nightmare begins. So you can see that building way up there. That's the eyesore on I-4, the building that only gets built as more money comes in incrementally for a Christian group. But anyway, this is it. Like, you pretty much sit in traffic like this where you kind of go in spurts for quite a while. So this is exit, just to give you an idea, we're coming up or just past exit 94. Downtown Orlando is like exit 82-ish. So, you know, you get like 12 miles or 10 miles of pretty much like bumper to bumper every morning if you're going to downtown Orlando. So here's a better look at that eyesore on I-4. It's pretty much the only real tall building in a residential area, so that's why it's called that. And it just hasn't finished completion in at least the last 10 years. I don't know when it started, probably over 10 years ago. And over in Altamont, by the way, this is where all of the I-4 Ultimate traffic nightmare begins, with all of the walls that and swerve all around a little bit. So since cars can't handle that, apparently, that's why you get stuck in such horrific traffic going down towards downtown Orlando. And basically what they're doing with the I-4 Ultimate project is trying to build an express lane in the middle that runs from Longwood down to the city for a charge, similar to what they do in South Florida, but it is a many-year project, and it has only just started over the last year. And now the fun thing is I need to get over 2 lanes to get to the exit in the next 2 miles here. So this is Maitland, Florida. This is Maitland Boulevard. Tons and tons of cars coming up and down this block. Over here they're building a new on-ramp, I think, for the highway to get onto I-4. This has been going on for like the last year or so. It gives you an idea just how many cars and people are going about in at least the Maitland area. And so Maitland became really popular probably 10 plus years ago because things in Orlando began to be too priced out, where companies, for the space that they wanted, couldn't afford to be operating in downtown Orlando. This is only about 8 miles out of downtown Orlando, and it was easier, more spacious, and cheaper for people to move to. And then of course Maitland started to get too expensive for companies to move to, so they started moving further out towards like Lake Mary and Longwood area. But Lake Mary, big place, you know, post the Maitland apocalypse where everybody moved to. So anyway, we're in Maitland. Most notably in Maitland, down this road, about a half a mile, is Electronic Arts Tiburon. So there's an awful lot of people that work there. So all of your sports video games from EA Sports made in that building down there. So for the most part, business-wise, this is what Maitland looks like. It's all business parks. There's little office buildings, kind of uniformly all next to each other. Perhaps some have a cafe, others do not. This is about it. So in any event, that's the commute into work. This is the way it is for probably 90% of the folks that work in Orlando. No Mickey ears on the way in. No Universal Studios. Just office buildings and traffic. Real life.
1 eternity later.
And we're done! That was a quick 9 hours, wasn't it? Felt like it to me. Did it go by as fast for you as it did for me? My goodness, look at all of this construction over here. Holy cow. So this giant line is to get into that left lane to make a left onto I-4 up there. This is like a daily nightmare. Well, this traffic looks promising. So we're up to a spot where there's major traffic because there's most likely an accident. There's a helicopter flying in the distance off to the left and lots of flashing lights up there. There we go, we zoom in a little bit on what is shaking up there. Can't see right now. A helicopter, news helicopter checking out scene. And from what I can tell, the westbound lanes on I-4 are completely shut down because there's not a single car coming. See that helicopter up there, flashing lights over here. See if we can see over the wall of just what's actually happened over here. We got a car that's parked. Can't really see too well over the wall. But there's one car. It's a little bit dinged up. What we got happening over here. Got one fire truck. We got the road rangers. Here's the other car. It's flipped over. Got another fire truck. Picking up pieces of the car. The road's completely blocked. People are just outside their cars hanging out. There you go, look at all of this mess. So, if you work north of the city, you're in for a treat trying to go home today because there really is no alternate route, especially when you're stuck over here. You guys can see this traffic goes back for miles and miles and miles. Holy cow. A lot of people still out of their cars trying to figure out what's going on. Look at this. So this is like a good 3 to 4 miles already that we've traveled beyond that accident. And you see it much further in the distance there. And here you go, you're about 6 miles out from where that accident took place. Still at a dead stop up here. There's a guy driving on top of the grass up there. What the heck? Outside of a baseball field. Well, we're 9 miles out from where the accident happened, and traffic's just starting to form over here. So one thing that's funny is that all of these trees started to lose their leaves probably like 2 months ago or so. Here the trees just look like they die and then they come back to life every spring. Just in case you were looking to buy roses outside of a 7-Eleven, they got you covered. So when we left for work this morning, the sun was just coming up. Come home from work, the sun is just about down. Look at that. Alright, I am finally back home. Couple things. One is, as I've always said in other videos, if you're a long-time viewer, you've heard me say this a million times, when there's accidents on I-4, they tend not to be fender benders. They tend to be colossal accidents. Like you just saw, that car flipped over. Be careful when you're driving. One of the first things that you get taught when you're driving, at least in the New York area, is defensive driving. That applies here, especially with all the tourists that visit and some of the older folks that live around. You want to be careful. Always look around and be extra cautious around you. The other thing is with the commute, going into work and then coming back from work, it kind of give you just a little bit of flavor for those folks that always say that they're looking to move here. That's why I thought I'd shoot the video to give you an idea how the commute works on a daily basis. A lot of folks ask the same question all the time about like, where should I move if I'm coming down, what's a good neighborhood and stuff like that. I could tell you a ton of good neighborhoods to move to, but the reality is a lot of times you want to move relative to where your job is going to be. So a lot of folks move to one of the great neighborhoods that they've heard about and they scout out, and then they end up getting a job that is a hellacious commute to get to. So biggest tip that I can give to anybody is if you're looking to move here and you're looking for areas, make sure you have a foundation for employment first, and then look around the areas that are good relative to where your job is. So anyway, short video today. We're heading out to the movies. Get you a bonus video later. Then we're gonna go see Deadpool. So on that note, thank you for all of your likes. Thank you for your comments. Thank you for your subscriptions. Treat others the way you want to be treated. Have a great night. We'll see you guys.